Hey, what's going on, True Blazer fans? It's Tori here with another Monday mailbag. But before I get into this mailbag, make sure you guys go ask me your questions down below for a chance to have them featured in next week's mailbag. There wasn't a whole lot of questions this week, so this is probably going to be a shorter episode. So make sure you fire away down there in the comments section below. Also, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. It helps us grow on YouTube, and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Check out the weekly recap I just dropped. It's a little shorter, less in-depth one than the week before, but I do talk about a couple interesting topics in my opinion. And with all that said, let's jump into your questions from the past week. Debunk Box asked, do you think we should release Nick and pick up Patrick McCaw or Marshawn Brooks? Patrick McCaw recently signed with the Toronto Raptors, but I wasn't really a fan of picking him up at all. He was very bad in the 50 minutes he played with Cleveland, and maybe that's because he knew he was getting released. Maybe that's because he knew that they signed him to a non-guaranteed deal just to free him from Golden State, but I wasn't really a fan of his game. I'm definitely not a fan of Marshawn Brooks. For most of the season, and maybe even still now, he's shooting under 30% from 3, and I know he killed us last year, so he looks like a good player based on games that he's played against the Blazers, but he's really not that good. He's very inefficient, and scoring is really the only thing he does. That's my least favorite type of player, an inefficient scorer who does nothing else. So I'd definitely rather keep Nick over those guys. A lot of the guys that got bought out, I'm definitely not a fan of picking up, so when I saw that list, let's just say I wasn't a fan. Jill Swenson, in response to me talking about Chad Doing, said Chad is actually a pretty good family friend of mine. I could talk to him and see if he'd be down to do an interview with you if you have any interest. It'd be cool to talk with Chad Doing, maybe an interview for this channel, or maybe on one of his platforms, which I think would be huge for us getting seen by more Blazer fans that we struggle to reach right now. Of course, if he had me go on the television on his radio show Rip City Drive, I'd be nervous as oh man. I'm not used to live talking at all, and I mess up a lot of words, so I would definitely be pretty nervous. See, I'm losing my train of thought right now. This is what it would be like if I was on the TV. But yeah, I'd do it. I got a couple of podcasts that I'm trying to do soon, so maybe that will help prepare me to be better at live talking instead of having the beautiful thing that's YouTube to be able to edit out all my mistakes. I'm leaving a new Discord link down in the comment section below, so if you want to join the Discord, make sure you do that. Jill Swenson, I think that would be the best way for you to get in contact with me, so make sure you definitely join Discord. There you'll see my profile, and I think you can message me, so I think that'd be a way you can get in touch if Chad actually wants to do that. Erickson B says, I would like to get better at recognizing offensive and defensive strategies that the Blazers utilize. What would you recommend I look for during games? Most people just follow the basketball during games, which I do a lot when I'm watching casually or I'm not looking for anything. If you want to focus on offensive and defensive strategies, you have to look at the other 4 offensive players without the ball and the guys defending them. Especially watch the way defenses guard pick and roll. Do they hedge it? Do they sag the big man like we do? Do they trap it like the Pelicans did in the playoffs last season? You can tell a lot about the philosophy of a defense just by the way they guard a pick and roll. If they change up their schemes, then that's a versatile defense that knows how to play multiple ways depending on the situation, which is what I wish we did, but we don't. If a team sags the big man like we do, it's probably more conservative, probably just trying to take away good shot opportunities, force mid-range shots, not really looking for steals though. If they hedge the pick and roll, they're probably trying to take away every type of shot, trying to smother the offense into taking a contested, very bad shot. A lot of those schemes depend on personnel too, so sometimes you won't have personnel for one scheme and it'll fit a lot better for another scheme. Offensively, just look at where the players move off the ball. The more and more you watch the players off the ball in our sets, the more you'll be able to tell what exactly the offense is looking for. So if you really want to study offensive and defensive strategies and schemes, just try not to watch the ball. Try and watch everything else going on the court. I suggest doing this in a game that is probably going to be an easy win. So the Cleveland Cavaliers at home on Wednesday is the perfect game for that. They don't have Kevin Love. They don't have Larry Nance. That's a very bad team that we should beat by 30. In a close game, I want to see what happens with the basketball because that's what matters the most. Is the basketball going the hoop or not? That's the basic fundamentals of basketball. But in a blowout, I definitely like to watch a lot of our sets and the way we play defense. The Brennanator says, should Nurk try some pick and pop like Zach is, or just roll to the rim? I love Nurkic rolling to the rim with momentum. He's been finishing really well when he's attacking the rim. That Denver game, he settled for 3 mid-range jump shots and missed them all. I don't think he's a good mid-range shooter yet. I don't even think he should develop his mid-range game. I think if he's going to shoot jumpers and try and develop a jump shot, he needs to develop it from the 3-point arc where it's worth that extra point. Right now, he's only shooting 40% from multiple mid-range spots, so that's 80 points per 100 possessions. That's definitely not good. And it's not like other 2-point shots where you're attacking the rim where you might get fouled on them and then shoot free throws, which is the most efficient shot in basketball. You're likely not going to get fouled on a mid-range jumper, so you don't have that added benefit either. I like Zach because he has decent form. He's a mediocre, below average 3-point shooter, but I think he has the potential to be a solid, maybe even a good 3-point shooter, so I think that's why he needs to keep shooting those shots, because I do think that will be a big part of his game. Yusuf Nurkic, on the other hand, as the Bosnian beast, he needs to always try and play like a beast. Zach Whalen says, what are your thoughts on the front court of Zach and Myers the Blazers seem to be running off the bench with lately? Personally, I'm not a big fan of it because I believe Zach is best at center, since playing there allows him to maximize his best skill set, which is his rim protection. I'd rather see Jake at power forward and Zach at center most of the time, with Myers being used when we need more size. And that's tough, man, because Myers has played great, but I do agree that I think Zach is better at center. And Zach is one of the biggest keys to our future, so I do think we need to develop him at center and at power forward. Problem is, he's almost playing primarily power forward right now. I do really like Jake as a small ball 4, his cutting, his shooting, his ability to take power forwards off the dribble. That's a very good skill set to have at that 4 spot. Honestly, I think what's best for Myers is to get traded to a contending team that just needs more shooting and needs a backup center so he can play for a good team and play for a team that needs his skill set. You know, I like Myers and he's been playing great. He's been putting in great work over the past 2 summers. Obviously, if you watched my weekly recap, I talked a lot about this very topic. I do agree with you. I do think we need to use Myers situationally against bigger center type of players with Zach Collins at the 4 in that situation. And then smaller teams, I would like to see Zach protecting the rim as a center with Jake Layman as that small ball 4. Jake Layman gets subbed out at the 6-minute mark in the first and third quarters anyway, so subbing back in with the bench at the small ball 4 is something that would definitely work. And it'd also get Jake Layman more playing time, which I think needs to happen as well. Thank you guys for all your questions from the past week. I hope you ask a few more this week because I really enjoy some of the things you guys have to ask me. I really enjoy thinking about some of the questions that you guys pose. So anyway, that's all I got for now, True Blazer fans. I'll see you later. Go Blazers.